Hey everybody, it's Matthew Lucci here. I've decided to start doing some of these tutorial videos, and I thought what an awesome one to start with is Bryan Andrews' new song, Give Me a Sign. So, for this one, we're going to use a capo. We're going to put that on the first fret. Otherwise, standard tuning. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through some of the chords that he uses in the video, and then we'll go chord patterns, and then we're going to do intro piece, which is super easy. The verse, both verses, chords are the same, and then we're going to do the chorus. So before we get into anything else, let's talk about what chords he uses. So with the capo on the first fret, he's basically in the people's key. So you've got a G, C, E minor, and D. And all of these are some modified versions, and I'll link down in the description below to one of my favorite tutorial videos on how to play those and easily switch back and forth between them. So I use a G, a C add 9, you use that in the video as well, a modified version of that E minor, a modified version of that D. Later on, he also uses a D chord, an A minor chord, and a regular C. And the reason he uses that regular C is because it's so easy. You just move one finger from the A minor to the C. And the reason why he uses the G to the C add 9 is just, it's super easy. So let me walk you through how to play each and every one of these chords. So for the G's that he plays, he takes his pinky and puts that on the 3rd fret of the 6th or bottom string. He takes his ring finger, puts it on the 6th or on the 3rd fret of the 5th string, so right above that. And then he takes his middle finger, 3rd fret of that 1st string, index finger, 2nd fret of the 2nd string. So that should sound like this. Now, for the next few, you can just keep those two fingers here locked on those bottom strings. For the C, we take that G shape, right? And we move both of these fingers down by one string. Instead of playing all 6, you play the bottom 5. And that's how that sounds. And then there's a D that is played in here, or a modified version of the D, where you lift up this middle finger and you take your pointer finger or index finger and you move that down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. 4th string. And you play the bottom 4. And that's how that sounds. So those together, there you go. There's also an E minor here that you lock the same two bottom strings. You put your pointer finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string, and then your middle finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and you play all 6 strings. So that's how that sounds. Now, later on, he plays a regular D, which is 1st finger, pointer finger, 2nd fret, 4th string, middle finger, 2nd fret, the bottom string, the 6th string, and then you take your ring finger, 3rd fret of the 5th string, and you play the bottom 4 as before. So that's a regular D. Here's the modified D. Now, he also plays an A minor toward the end of the chorus, and that is your index finger, 1st fret of the 5th string, middle finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and then your ring finger, 2nd fret of the 4th string, and you play the bottom 5. There you go. And from there, it's super easy to get to a regular C because you keep your index finger and your middle finger in the same spot. You just move your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and you play the bottom 5 like this. So there you go. So let's run through all those real quick. That's a G, C add 9, E minor, and that's D, or a modified version of the D. You can also play regular D, and then our A minor, and finally our C. So there you have it. There's all of the chords you're going to need for this song. And starting with the intro, it's very, very simple. So you just use that G to a C, back to the G, to the D. And so you'll run through that twice, and that's the intro. And it's also the interlude between the chorus and the verse, when you go from the chorus to verse 2, and then between the second chorus and the third chorus. So let's run through the verses. Same chord pattern in both of them, and that is G, C, E minor, D. And you run through that twice per verse. So here's what that'll sound like. I've been down this road too many times before. I don't want to feel lost anymore. It's just too much this time. I'm tired of trying to read between the lines. So I fold my hands, bow my head, give this a try. The second verse is the exact same in terms of the chords you play in the order that you play them in. That brings us to our chorus. And this is actually a pretty long chorus, but don't be dismayed. It's still pretty simple to play because you're doing a G to a D to E minor to a D, okay? And you do that twice. You run through that pattern twice, and then there's a part that says, and honestly, God, I'm not sure if you're real. That's when you slide up to your A minor. And to get out of that, there's a C that follows it, but rather than resetting coming down here to the C add 9, that's when you just do the simple A minor to C change, but by moving that one finger. Then to a regular D, and then that last line, could you give me a sign? So for most of that last line, you just vocalize it, and then when you reach the word sign, you downstroke on that G, and you launch into your interlude. So let's run through the full chorus here, just to kind of give you a sense of what that sounds like. So, 'cause God ain't asking to win the lottery, you know I ain't asking to live forever. Just wanna know if that girl's leading me home, or if we wind up together. And God, I gotta tell you, it's getting hard to keep my faith. I just need to know if I should quit my job or give up on my dreams. And honestly, God, I'm not sure if you're real, or if you're just in my mind. But here I am on my knees, so if you're there, God, Could you give me a sign? So there you have it. There's the intro and interludes. You've got the verses and you've got the chorus. So the way that you put all this together is you play an interlude, and then you play the first verse, goes straight into the chorus, another interlude, second verse, and then right back into the chorus. Now, after that second time through the chorus, you'll play another interlude and then jump right back into the chorus to finish you out. At the very end, there's a point where he repeats the last line, could you give me a sign? And for that, I recommend just going, could you give me a sign? Just D to G, as many times as you want to repeat it. Could you give me a sign? And the last time through, just a single downstroke on the G will end it. Could you give me a sign? Just like that. All right, so I'll go ahead and put some lyrics down in the description below. And if you have any requests for future videos, please let me know. I think I might try to do a few more of these and see what you guys think. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.